I was driving by and saw this road and wanted to shoot on it. It's a warm day, and I left the house, and I started driving towards a area my sister said is like a cute small town in walking distance, but I only went about halfway before just stopping, because it's like a half-hour trip or something. And I'd rather be out in nature. Now, is it safe here? I don't know. It's certainly not clean here. Most of America is not clean anywhere that's within, like, near a road. I'm not sure why large numbers of Americans throw trash out of their cars. If I were a politician, if I were emperor, I'd hire oodles and oodles of people to clean up every square inch of the world, of this nation. But if I did that, now here's a question: would that encourage greater litter? Got some private property, no trespassing signs. I mean, I'm on a road, right? What's my question? If cleaning up would inspire more litter, because you're like, oh, I got to give them a job. Somebody's cleaning it up. I think that a small percentage of people would respond that way. I think if you do research, most people are more likely to litter when they see litter and think, it's already ruined. It doesn't matter. They don't care. Than to, like, I think cleanliness inspires cleanliness, not cleanliness inspires litter. I was going to talk about white people problems, race and white supremacy, but I'm both inspired to by my surroundings, and I'm also afraid to. Let me just say this. I have plenty of ideas. Oh, I'm wondering, is this working well? I have lots of ideas. A lot and lots of, is that like the most overused expression in English? I don't really like it when I say it. All right, I'm going to turn at this corner, and if I get confused by what the corner is, because I'm in it, I'll turn at that next driveway. Around is what I mean. I haven't walked very long, but I'm feeling insecure outside my car. But yeah, I mean, I can, and if I weren't a white person, I'd feel more insecure. But I feel insecure because I'm a flamboyant white person, so a city gay. it looks cute though. It continues. One reason I believe, I guess there's debates going on in my head. What's something you hear white people say? Why does everything have to be about race? Our ancestors made everything about race. And those of us who talk about it now are trying to make up for that. Because of our ancestors, we've inherited a world in which everything's about race. I spilled on myself. One of my ideas was I can walk until it's dry. I walk facing traffic. That's the custom. Skittles. There was once a concept that people should be, like the manufacturers of disposable items should be, here comes a Mercedes giving me a wide berth. That the manufacturers of disposable items are the ones that should, there should be a fee inherent in their manufacturer that pays for the percent of all disposable items that end up, forget the percent that end up in litter, all disposable items end up being disposed of. Okay, no, because weirdo hoarders like me have some at their house. But anyway, the point is, if you design something and sell it to be thrown away, then a portion of that price should be earmarked for the dealing with the waste. And yet, disposable things are like the least expensive, the most economical. Where's the sense in that? I think I can never remember. So in in France, at fast food places, there were different prices for eating in and taking out. But honestly, I don't remember which was more expensive, because the reasoning was either that taking out incurs more waste, or that eating in incurs the work of cleaning up after you at your table. So it's probably the latter. Because I think at a fast food place, even if you eat in, aren't you being served your items in disposable garbage? You're not getting a plate at a McDonald's in France when you order your Royale. Doesn't he say Royale with cheese? Pulp Fiction. Oh, that's quarter pounder. They don't know what a pound is. They use the metric system. Anyway. Royale avec fromage. Cheeseburger. I don't feel well. I keep making things and it's the best I can do. I just read something today that said for artists to stop apologizing when they share, like, sorry to flood your timeline with my, frivolous drawings or my doodles or whatever. Of course, I thought about that because that's exactly what I share half the time. Just pencil scribbles. And this person was saying to take pride in the fact that we're sharing, because we're like the last line of defense against an all algorithm, all AI world, that every authentic human thing that we share is counter-programming. I would say that's definitely part of my attitude, whether I articulate it that way or not. I think I share what I do because it's different, and if you're only looking for stuff all the time, there's my car. I'm not very far at all. Maybe I'll do another loop. To me, it's boring when everything's the same. So, like if you ever watched, well, if you're my age, then you might have watched like bad public access TV type stuff. Well, there's authenticity and fascination, that somebody wanted to make this, not for money. Money is the only value seems to be universally understood at the moment. I started thinking about sex and then the difference between sex and love. Actually, first I started thinking about love and then sex, because love is difficult to define, but sex is easier. So, is the reason that we excuse people doing hideous things for greed because it's understandable? Is the reason that far too many of us excuse I wonder if I don't think Twitch allows me to Zoom, but I'm using an app because Twitch isn't working for me. I'm not sure if I'm even streaming. It says I am, but I can't be sure. When the Fediverse first started to grow in the fall of 2022, I think, after Musk took over Twitter and started adopting policies that offended many, people fled, and that's when Mastodon got its biggest surge. And a comment that has stuck with me is someone saying that Mastodon isn't the next thing because this person said they don't understand its business model, which is funny because that's a kind of brainwashing of being an American or being a capitalist and thinking that everything has to operate as a business in order to exist, to survive, to be justified. If I were in the Mastodon maintenance team, I might respond to that with whatever their business model is. Nonprofit, blah, 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 blah. But as a human being who uses the service, I can say, I don't care. What works is the fact that it works, that there are if not millions, at least hundreds of thousands of people, or maybe only tens of thousands, I don't know, who want to communicate without corporate intermediaries. We want to have the networks that we were used to having, that were supplied by corporations, but we want to have them without ads, without algorithms, without someone scraping all our data, although that's probably happening anyway, because anything that's public on the web is now being scraped like every minute. But anyway, we okay, here's car number 2 coming by. This is a truck. Yikes. So call it irrational. I was scared the whole time until the thing passed. Because of my red sunglasses and my bright pastel shirt. And curly hair, for some reason. Also makes me feel weird, because if I were a manly man, I would shave it short. Because curly hair is not manly. Where do I get these rules? Probably age, what, 2, 3 to 15, 18, 25, wherever I absorbed the attitudes that I carry with me. This looks like bamboo, right? But I don't see grown bamboo anywhere. So is it just like the same grass that's growing here, but it never gets mowed? Also, does someone actually come and mow these shoulders? I hope not. That seems like a waste of energy. Grass is a waste of energy. Maybe it's bamboo, and then the reason there aren't tall stands of it is that it gets too cold here, so it dies before it becomes established. Or it's probably something else besides bamboo. Maybe I'll ask Siri later. That is bamboo. That's totally bamboo. You can see the notches of the cane. It'd be funny if it was sugar cane. It would not be funny. It would be funny in a Bad Bunny way. This is nice. This was good. It was a nice walk. Good choices. Just find a rural road and walk on it. I'm lucky today. Yesterday I didn't leave my bedroom at all. Today I did, and I shared some of my concerns with my sister, and that was good. That moved things forward, I hope. But I do want to You ever feel like you're in an awkward situation with someone, and it might be a roommate, it might last for a long time. I've been in awkward situations with roommates that lasted for a long time, including uh, a spouse. And it was just easier not to talk about. So when I wake up, my life's ruled by pain. If you don't understand, you can go back and search through all my previous posts and videos. My life's ruled by pain, and getting up is difficult. And where I live currently, there's nothing, I'm not contributing anything, and I'm grateful not to be asked, because I wouldn't feel that I can do a good job. I don't even feel comfortable committing, like I have an appointment in, I don't know, about 10 or 9 hours or something, and I get nervous about being able to show up. And maybe other people who go through chronic pain can understand, can relate. Being nervous about showing up is twofold or multifaceted. One is I'm nervous that I'm going to sleep through it, or, not make it. But what does sleep through it really mean? Yes, literally I might sleep through it, but there can be, alarms. There's solutions to that. The real worry is that I won't be up to it. The worry is that I won't feel like doing it. So every day, just before I got up today, I'm in bed, and in that moment I'm thinking, I choose more time in this bed than whatever is on the other side of it. It's a form of depression. I talk about, I ever since I started having this chronic back pain or hip pain, I see parallels between it and depression, and I think of depression as a chronic pain. They're located differently, but as far as what they're about, what living with them can feel like, there's so many, similarities. This is better than depression, chronic pain, because I don't have this unending automatic thinking that's against myself. But if I do have, I do sometimes feel, I'm not doing anything, I'm not, the two cars that I've seen have both gone that way. That's interesting. The bigger town is that way, and the cars have been going in the opposite direction because it's afternoon, right? Even though it's not after 5 yet, it's after school hours. Although I think both vehicles have had just one driver, but you get what I'm saying, right? People go in the same patterns. So right now I'm glad to be here, but if I were to be, what's the word I'm looking for? Hard on myself? If I were to be, I don't know, if I were to ask myself, why am I happy to be here? Uh, the answers aren't very, just, I'm outside, these are big, actually these are big answers. It's learning to value these things. I'm outside, vitamin D, sunshine, warm air, moving my muscles, moving my joints. Like, these things matter. But I have to learn for them to matter, because they don't really matter culturally. I was trained to feel that, if I'm not making money contributing to the colonial project, blah, blah, blah. I feel like sitting down, but I'm not really done with this topic. Well, I've only talked about 17 topics. We could go back to litter. So what's the real key to fighting litter? Making people not want to litter. How do you do that? You have to respect where you are, respect all people, respect the land, respect yourself. What role, if any, does government have to play in that? Well, it can start by respecting all people equally under the law, and as I said earlier, making laws that prioritize or deprioritize disposable goods. I don't think $10,000 fine for littering or whatever does a whole lot. Oh, there's horse poop. Exciting. All right. I think part of the difficulty in appreciating fresh air and walking and stuff, these not easily quantifiable benefits, part of that difficulty is that I feel so bad. My primary feeling is bad because of the chronic pain, so that nothing that I'm accomplishing is so great as to overcome the pain, feeling bad. So in that type of analysis, it's like, is it really worth it? What's the point? So I have to force myself / teach myself / learn to appreciate these really small pleasures that might be all that there are. And it's a good lesson for taking pleasure in life in general when massive injustices are on my mind always. Yet I feel a necessity and an obligation to enjoy life. So, in the same way, mass injustice causes me pain, and I have to enjoy life anyway. And it's my preference not to escape. Hey, that's part of what makes it difficult. Nothing I'm doing escapes the pain. Maybe this is an important lesson, that I can't escape the problems. I don't want to deny and forget the problems that exist in life. My body is not letting me deny and forget the problems that exist in me. It's something interesting to think about. And in both cases, it's like there's a desire to want to return to childhood when I didn't have body aches and pains, and when I didn't have the perspective to be conscious of injustice. Usually. Sometimes I did. Or at least I was more likely to escape into enjoyable activities. Maybe there's nothing wrong with escape. I enjoy the flow of making art, and that's the closest I can get nowadays to escape. I am not getting it in my daily life. Currently. Bye-bye.